I'm back with another hotel review, and today we are going to be talking about the W in Union Square in New York. This hotel can run up to $800 a night, but the real question is the hotel worth the price tag? Well, we'll figure out the answer to that question with my 5-point hotel review framework. We'll review the facilities, the room, the food, the hospitality, and the location of this property on a scale of 5, and then come to an average score on a scale of 5 for this property. If you're new here, my name is Abhi. This is Credit Debit with Abhi. If you like this kind of content, hit the like and subscribe button. And like we do in all of our videos, without further ado, let's dive in. We used to live in East Village in 2017, and I must have walked past these streets hundreds of times. But I don't remember ever seeing the W in Union Square. In other words, the hotel just blends into the locality that it is in. As you enter, the reception is on the left-hand side, and there are 3 elevators right opposite the reception. We were here for a weekend, and things were pretty busy when we arrived. And so the elevators took a little bit of time to come up and down. The initial floors in the property were reserved for events, and then there were guest rooms on all the floors above. One of the things I did want to call out is the flooring and the carpeting all across the property. The flooring around the reception area was fantastic, and so was the carpeting in the aisles around the rooms. The gym was on one floor below the lobby, and it was extremely spacious. Although the height of the ceilings in the gym were low, you had everything inside the gym that you could think of. There were weights, there were machines, treadmills, pelotons, and everything in between. There was a particular space where you could get chair massages, and we had 15-minute complimentary massages that we didn't end up using, but it looked pretty good. Another cool feature at the property was the availability of water filters on every single floor. So in New York, if you're confused whether you should be having tap water or not, you can always step outside of your room, go to one of these water filter stations, and fill up a bottle of water. The one complaint I did have is the amount of noise that filtered through to the rooms. Like I mentioned, when we arrived here for the weekend, there was an event going on downstairs, and we were on the 15th floor, and even then we could hear a fair amount of noise at night. So overall, the facilities at the property get a 4 out of 5. Which then brings us to the rooms at the property, and this, in my opinion, was the marquee feature of the property. When we arrived at the property, we got upgraded to a better room. This was facing the city with really nice skyline views. I have platinum status with Marriott, and my player 2 has gold status with Marriott. The theme of eclectic design continues into the bathroom. The first thing you'll notice when you enter the bathroom is the yellow color knobs that are right next to the faucet. The bath lotions, the moisturizer, and the shampoo were fantastic and were from this company called Momo. And like I've mentioned in my previous videos as well that I'll link up there, the shower pressure is an important criteria for how I rate these properties, and I'm happy to report that the shower pressure here was fantastic. Right opposite the door of the bathroom, there was a small narrow shelf, which is where the espresso machine was. And then as you walk into the room, you're greeted by a king-size bed, a large sofa on one of the corners, which then overlooks the window that looks out at the skyline of New York City. And like the carpets and the flooring outside of the room, the carpets inside of the room were also very plush and extremely clean. From the market parameter of the property, we go to something that bothered me the most about the property, and that is the food. And I'll be the first one to admit that we actually didn't eat a lot at the property. We had a $40 credit for in-room dining and a few other things, and that's all we ended up using at the property. But I'm going to gauge this parameter based on my experience, and my experience was ordering a chocolate cake at night for in-room dining. While the cake arrived fairly quickly, it was dry, it was sugary, and it didn't taste good at all. Now, I also understand that this was in-room dining over the weekend, and probably that's why the cake wasn't good. But that's all I have to judge the food at the property with. And the food of the property, because of that, gets a 2.5 out of 5. Hospitality at the property was top-notch. It started with the reception and Nelson. He was one of the people at the reception, and if you come across Nelson, you're going to have a tremendous time at the property. I'll talk about this at the end of the video, but when we arrived at the property, we had 2 separate reservations for 2 days. Nelson quickly spotted that, gave us an upgraded room, and made sure that we stayed in the upgraded room for both nights. This sort of hospitality kind of carried over to every single other person at the property. Gigi, our dog, was also given a lot of attention at the property. Like I mentioned before, while the food within room dining wasn't great, the service within room dining was spectacular. They were able to bring the order up in absolutely no time. Housekeeping at the property was also prompt, so we would call them and let them know that we were taking Gigi out for a walk. And by the time we came back, housekeeping was done. Overall, hospitality at the property also gets a 5 out of 5. Which brings us to the last parameter, which is the location at the property. This hotel is located right in Union Square. So you have easy access to subway lines, coffee, shopping, food, pretty much anything you want in and around. 2 of my favorite restaurants in the area are Los Tacos No. 1, where you get delicious tacos, and then Upland, which is a couple of blocks down. The only caveat I'd put out there about the location of the property is that this is a busy part of town. Well, it's not as busy as Times Square, but it is still busier compared to some other parts of New York City. But from my perspective, when you are in New York City, you're kind of looking for that energy, so I didn't have any complaints complains about that. And that's why the location of the property also gets a 5 out of 5. That gets us to an average score of 4.3 out of 5. And so if you're not looking for the best food option at the hotel that you're staying at, this might be the right place to stay. Now let's get to how we booked our 2-night stay here. I have the American Express Bonvoy Brilliant card, and my player 2 has the Ritz Carlton credit card. Both of these credit cards come with a free night award that's valued at 85,000 points. And even though the retail price on the rooms here can go up to $750 to $800, we were able to book these rooms using the free night awards for just under 85,000 points. And that in and of itself paid for the annual fee on both of these credit cards. If you've stayed at the W in Union Square, let me know in the comments below what your experience was. If you're interested to apply for the American Express Bonvoy Brilliant card, I'll leave my personal referral link down below. Obviously, make sure you're getting the best offer and it's a card that's right for you. But it is a great way to support the channel. And like always, I'll see you in the next one.